have come out of the White House, that the things that have come out of Donald Trump's Twitter, that have come out of his mouth, it is extremely troubling. First of all, so much of what has come from Donald Trump is just flat out lies. And this has been proven over and over and over again. And yet we deal with it like, okay, we've kind of gotten used to it now. You know, that's just Trump being Trump. Well, no, that is never acceptable. And I don't understand where the legitimate outrage and concern is on the part of all American citizens. And that's my second point. Every single one of those protesters in Charlottesville. Okay, remember the Ku Klux Klan members, the Nazis? They had their tiki torches and were walking through Charlottesville, Virginia. Remember that last year? Every single one of those folks, in reality, who are American citizens, have more in common with me than we have in difference with each other, whether they recognize that or understand that or not. And yet, instead of forces in the White House and in Congress trying to bring us together, trying to emphasize the sameness that we have, trying to bring us together, you have people who are using division in order to ride to power and stay in power. And that is just flat out wrong. You know, part of this is maybe a reflection of me getting a little older. I've been around. I have lived through a number of, when I was born, I think Dwight Eisenhower was president. So what is that? That's Eisenhower, that's Kennedy, that's Johnson, that's Nixon, that's Carter, that's Reagan, that's Bush, that's Clinton, that's Bush, that's Obama, and now Trump. I've lived through a lot of presidents of the United States. I've been doing journalism for 40 years, and so I've had to cover these issues for 4 decades. And the things that I am seeing and hearing now are just absolutely unheard of and appalling. And yet, these same things that maybe 10, 20, even 30 years ago would have created outrage among the American people seem to be embraced and applauded. As if people don't understand our history, they don't understand the danger of the path that is being taken by Trump and the Republicans. And I worry for this country. I worry for my children and my grandchildren and the kind of world that they are growing up in and evolving in. What do you think? 313-778-7600. I will be listening to that State of the Union tonight, or I'll check it out some kind of way. Right now, though, let's go to Byron, who's on line 2. Hey, Byron, thanks for calling, and good afternoon to you.
Yeah, how you doing, Mr. Russell?
Doing well, thanks.
That's good. Just wanted to clarify some things. The brother was absolutely wrong. Trump did take money. He did not utilize his own money to run for the presidency. He got big money from the NRA and from other Republican donors, major Republican donors, like the guy in Vegas, Wynn, who just resigned from the Republican National Committee. So we need to dispel these myths. It's interesting. It was I think it was not Stalin, but Vladimir Lenin, who said a long time ago, if you tell a lie long enough, people will believe it. And so what we have is people believing the lies that have been told.
Adolf Hitler and Goebbels said that too.
Yeah, and people need to remember that this man Trump was the one who became the prince of the birther movement, and 40 to 50% of registered Republicans believed that Barack Obama was not a citizen. It shows you the ignorance, the power of ignorance, and the power of lie. And we can stop a lot of this if people just get out and vote. If people really, really scrutinize candidates, become an informed voter, and we can put an end to a lot of this foolishness. And to sit up here and say this man is not a racist when he's forgotten all about Puerto Rico, all about the Virgin Islands, didn't even know that these were U.S. citizens and U.S. territories. And do we need to rehash the Central Park Five, the birtherism, the fact that he said he didn't want black people counting his money? There's a whole litany of stuff that is out there And people who want to support Trump, even black folks who want to give him a pass, need to really, really look at the history of not just this man, but the history of this nation when it comes to political leadership and race-based. One last thing, it's really not just about Trump. The Republican leadership has backed anything and everything he has done. Not one of them ever spoke out against the birtherism. Not one of them has challenged the issue of voter suppression. Not one of them has said anything about the Department of Justice that has labeled certain black groups that pushing for freedom and democracy as black extremist groups and is talking about them as being dangerous to the United States. It goes back to J. Edgar Hoover.